On the record in the matter, the people of the city of Lansing versus Joshua Brown, file number 24-00742. Appearance for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the state of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Joshua Brown.
Mr. Brown, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, today was the set for a pretrial on furnishing false information. How are we proceeding on this, counsel?
The city attorney and I have reached an agreement that Mr. Brown is in accord with. We need to adjourn this to allow time for his felony plea to play out. And then Mr. Brown will be accepting a civil infraction offer of breach of the peace.
When is his next court date on the calendar?
I show that it's scheduled for trial on May 28th. I'm sure that they will enter the plea sometime before. I don't know exactly.
We will schedule after that. Is he expected to be in custody until that time?
Yes.
Is he going to be, is he being held on that felony?
Yes.
Okay. And you talked to him because he's gonna have a fine, he's expected to pay the fine, the day of sentencing. Okay. June 17th at 8:30. June 17th at 8:30. Mr. Brown, do you have any questions for the court? Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Not for the city, Your Honor.
Not for the defense.
You're all set, sir. You're all set, Mr. Brown. On the record in the matter, the people of the city of Lansing versus Sheila Arnold, file number 13-01263, counsel appearance.
Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Sheila Arnold.
Okay, is Sheila Arnold present?
If she's on Zoom, she's not.
I'm not sure who's on Zoom. I don't see a Sheila Arnold. I see someone, it looks like they just woke up, they're wrapped in a blanket, they're gonna get removed from Zoom court in just a moment. But I don't know who that is.
I only spoke to her on the phone. I couldn't.
Fail to appear, I'll issue a big warrant.
Your Honor,
Yes.
given the very date of this occurrence in 2013 and her clean history, rather than pursue a bench warrant, the city would request simply to dismiss this matter.
Motion to dismiss is granted. I'm also gonna know, looks like she doesn't live in Michigan, she's in South Bend. I was on a citation, I think. Actually, we do need a law. This was on the plan. The record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Randy Baldwin, file number 24L2836442. Counsel appearance.
Morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Randy Baldwin.
Okay, Mr. Baldwin, today's the date that we reset this matter is for an improper plate. Plate issue fixed.
But the car didn't belong. There was someone's car.
Your Honor, could I have a moment to confer with my client?
Give me a moment. Scheduled for 8:30.
He's been offered a civil infraction. I don't think that he's aware that I didn't see him until just now.
What was the offer?
The offer was to amend to no plates, Your Honor.
Offers to amend no plate. It's a civil infraction. It's not a criminal matter.
Okay.
It's a civil infraction. It's not a criminal matter. You won't get points from it. It's gonna be punishable by a fine payable today. Do you want to accept that, or do you want time to think about it since you just found about it?
I accept it, but I can't pay all that today. I'm a single father of 6. My wife passed away December 10, 2023. So like I have bills on top of bills. If I can be allowed to make payments on it.
You can make payments. So Boyle said you were amended to what again?
No plate, Your Honor.
Okay. Fine is $130. How much are you paying today, sir?
I got like $20 on me to like later on. So
When are you gonna make your next payment?
I can do it next week.
How much?
I'll probably the same. I'll probably do the same like every week.
$20 each week until paid in full?
Yes, ma'am.
Get you over to the counter to make your payment. You'll be all set. Thank you. Who's on the wing tech? Ma'am? Ma'am, can you hear me? It's the lady on Zoom.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, what is your name?
Last name Green, first name Cynthia. Good morning.
Good morning, okay. Do we have an interpreter here? Dewa? Interpreter?
That's Mr. Dagwar.
Do we have an interpreter here though?
I have not seen him.
Okay. Who's in the jail? Is Amber Valencia?
This is,
Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Grace Rowley, file number 23-03754, council appearance.
Your Honor, Amanda Boyle on behalf of State Lansing. Morning, Your Honor. Tiffany DeBrun on behalf of Grace Rowley. She's currently standing to my right at council table.
How are you both?
Well, thank you, and you?
I'm doing well for Monday.
All right.
Let's see here. Today was the date set for sentencing. I do have a pre-sentence report. And it was dated, prepared April 17, 2024. Council, did you get a copy of that?
We did, Your Honor. Both of us have reviewed it. There are no additions, deletions, or corrections, just allegations.
You can make allocation.
Thank you, Your Honor. I know that the court is aware that there are 4 purposes of sentencing. In every case, that being punishment, deterrence, protection of society, and rehabilitation. With regard to punishment, Ms. Rowley did not spend any time in jail. She was actually transported to the hospital due to the accident that was involved in this case. What I will say, Judge, is that since the time of this incident, she's remained sober. She does not have any intention to drink moving forward. She's a hard worker. She currently works for the Senate and previously worked for the Lieutenant Governor. I believe that fines and costs, in addition to what she has done, would work to effectuate the purpose of punishment in this case. Additionally, deterrence, again, Judge, I think she has learned a significant amount from what happened in this case, the accident that occurred, that could have been so much worse, could have cost her her life, could have cost someone else their lives. She did attend the Mad Victim Impact Panel on the Alcohol Highway Safety Program, and I will let her speak more specifically as to how that affected her and what she learned from that. But again, Judge, she didn't have any significant injuries. She was shaken up, and I know she's super nervous today. This is not a comfortable spot for her. I know it's not a comfortable spot for many people. But with regard to protection of society, I believe that and rehabilitation go hand in hand. I believe that what she has done since this happened will work to protect society and has worked to rehabilitate her. Those things include, again, the Mad Victim Impact Panel. She and I talked about it in preparation for coming to speak with you, Judge. And what she said to me is that there's so many people with stories about how drunk driving has touched their lives, and none of them are positive. There's nothing good that comes out of something like this. She doesn't want to be the cause of pain in people's lives. 9 out of 10 times people are not lucky enough to walk away from those situations. So I think that really affected her. And again, she will speak to some of this. But the Alcohol Highway Safety Program taught her how her body processes alcohol, which I think is, again, another reason why she's choosing to abstain from here on out. She intends to be abstinent. She's been seeing a counselor since 2022, just for various reasons, and they are currently addressing this issue. So I assure the court that rehabilitation will be ongoing, whether the court has kind of an eye on it or not. They've been working on alternatives to drinking. One of the reasons why she drank the evening of this incident is she was in a really tough working condition, and I think she had just accepted a new position, so she was celebrating. And oftentimes, I know myself, I let things get out of hand. When I did drink, I drank to excess when I was celebrating, heck, when I was happy, when I was sad, it all called for alcoholic drinks. So I know that that's not uncommon. What I will say is, Judge, I think all 4 purposes of sentencing will be accomplished by fines and costs in this case, in addition to what she's already done. I believe that that's what the recommendation from probation is. So I would ask the court respectfully follow that recommendation. Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Raley.
Thank you, Your Honor. My circumstances are a result of poor decision-making that I'm committed to ensuring never happens again. Through the highway safety course, I learned the real effects of alcohol on the body, how long alcohol remains in the body, and the true effects of alcohol on judgment and thought processes. I do not want to suffer from impaired judgment or thought again. When attending the Mad Victim Impact Panel, I heard real stories of the lives drunk driving has touched. Parents without their children, individuals harming or killing others, resulting in a multitude of punishment and lifelong guilt. No life that drunk driving touches is a life improved. I never want to bring that harm to others, to my community, to my family, to my dogs. Most people do not have the opportunity to walk away from these incidents alive or unharmed. I'm taking that opportunity to commit to a sober life and plan to take the experiences I've learned here and apply them in every facet of my life into the decision making. I will accept the decision you deem fit, Your Honor.
Anything else, counsel?
No, Judge, I know she was very nervous, so thank you for allowing her to read that. We hope that the court understands.
One thing I noted that she stated, or that she began her statement with, was that the decision was, what brought her before the action was poor decision making, poor judgment, and that shows some level of accountability. I recognize that there's various reasons why people choose to consume alcohol, whether it's celebratory, whether it's because they're socializing, whether it's because they're using it to mask whatever hurts they're dealing with. And the court's not going to get into whether people should or shouldn't use alcohol, but there's really no excuse why anyone should have to drive while under the influence of alcohol. We're living in an age where at your fingertip, you can get a vehicle to pick you up and take you to wherever you need to go. Or you could celebrate at home, or celebrate in a hotel room where you don't have to then put your life and the lives of others at risk. I was watching CNN yesterday, and Michigan pops up on there. And you want to know why? Because a woman drove her car while under the influence into a child's birthday party, 16 children in Monroe County yesterday, killing a number of them. So these are the kinds of devastating effects that can happen when poor decision-making takes place when you accompany the use of a substance that could alter your mindset or your ability to control your impulse and operate a motor vehicle. I'm happy to see that you were proactive and that you have taken liberties in making sure you did what you needed to do as it relates to highway safety. I do have a copy of your certificate here. I did review a copy also of a letter from, I think, your counselor. And these are things, and then I see your MAD impact certificate. These are things that the court would have essentially required you to do anyways, if you were put on a term of probation. Your attorney is familiar with that. She I don't know if she advised you to do those things. A good attorney would have advised their client to do those prior to sentencing, because that shows the court that you've already taken some measures to redress the issue. Even as I read your substance abuse evaluation, it reported criteria only being mild, and that you appear to be addressing those issues. I don't see anything else on your criminal history. You're gainfully employed. I can see the remorse on your face. I don't think you stopped crying since you've been in this courtroom. And I want you to remember those feelings, because I'm not going to say that you won't find yourself in a situation where you're never going to drink again. That's a decision you make now, but people change that decision for various reasons. You could be at a wedding, you could be, anything could happen, and you decide you want to engage, but what you don't want to do is ever find yourself in this position again, I'm sure. With that being said, I think that fines and costs are appropriate. The court will adopt the recommendation, which is also indicating that it does not appear a term of probation is necessary in this case. So fines and costs in the amount of $500 will be assessed, plus a $75 crime victim rights fee, $50 state minimum cost, $283.51 for OWI cost recovery is owed to the Lansing Police Department. That will be assessed as well.
One of those fees can be paid immediately.
A total of $908.51, and she's gonna pay that today.
Correct.
The file will get you over to the criminal traffic counter, and I do wish you good luck in the future, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Off the record.
Nice to see you, Judge.
Same to you. You did not get an interpreter, is that correct?
I have not found any receipt in the picture.
Let me see if that's what's on here. It was ordered. Is it their infraction or what was their first feature? Yeah, because they had one for his arraignment. So the clerk's office would have requested it. Awesome. He was the one who did it. Who did that? I have to reset this. I don't think we have an interpreter. May sixth at 9:30. May sixth at 9:30. Mr. Green,
Good morning.
good morning. You're here with Chappie Holmes.
That is correct, Your Honor.
You're Chappie Holmes, okay. On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Valencia versus Chappie Holmes, file number 23-02193, council appearance.
Morning, Your Honor, Amanda Boyle on behalf of the city.
Thank you, Your Honor. Vince Green, on behalf of the defendant Chappie Holmes, is standing in the courtroom.
Mr. Holmes, today's date that was scheduled for sentencing. I do have a pre-sentence report that was dated, prepared April 17, 2024. Council, did you get a copy of that and go over that with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
We need to make corrections, updates, or deletion.
Just an update, Your Honor. Besides the, I didn't notice in the report, but besides the victim impact panel, Mr. Holmes also went to the National Highway Safety Programs seminar.
You provided the certificates for those.
I know that both were, I thought both were provided. I didn't see the National Highway Safety Program, but I can get those both to the court the next day or two.
I don't see either in my file.
Okay. We'll make sure it gets done.
Cost recovery sheet because the exact same amount in the last case. Okay. You can make allocution, counsel.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. I hope Mr. Holmes listened to Sister Counsel DeBruin just a few minutes ago. It was I really, her words were what I was going to say. Also, I've had a chance to talk to my client. The programs that he attended were very effective, were very impactful. And it's interesting also, you mentioned the report about the woman in Monroe County. As I was working over the weekend and came across my news feeds, I don't read a lot of the news online, but that did impact me also, because as a father of two daughters and a grandfather of a grandson, we've been to many birthday parties, many functions where, that could happen. And that affected me a lot, because we just had a birthday party late last year for my 3-year-old grandson at a facility. And that had a lot of impact on me. And Mr. Holmes, he's told me that he's got to make better choices. Again, he indicated he drank because he saw the person that was responsible for his daughter's death. And as Mr. Bruin said, I have found people who drink, sometimes they drink because they're happy, they're sad, because it's Monday Night Football, because it's March Madness. There's a lot of reasons people drink, but there's ways to drink and do it responsibly. So I know that's had an impact on Mr. Holmes. We'd ask the court to follow the recommendation, and we think it's very fair. If the court does see fit, he will show to this court he can do probation successfully. Thank you, Your Honor.
The recommendation is for him to do 12 months of probation. I said that he needs to complete intensive outpatient substance abuse treatment with random alcohol and drug testing and a 12-step program. This is not like the last case. This is not your first or second situation like this. You have a pretty robust criminal history. And so different measures need to be taken in order to redress this issue, because this is the third time you've been before the court, according to your criminal history, for operating while intoxicated. And so you didn't learn the lesson the first and second time. You did it again. I recognize that. I recognize it, but when do we get to the point that our apologies turn into change in behavior? Do we have to kill ourselves or someone else first?
I guess we really bad judge on my behalf, because it was like 14 months I had lost 2 daughters. But that's no excuse.
I'm not negating or minimizing the loss or the pain that you may be suffering from that. And why that may, I don't know if you were living a sober lifestyle prior to that and then you relapsed. I'm not negating how that can trigger a relapse. I'm talking about the fact that you're driving with a point, I think it's a 0.26 blood alcohol level. If you're gonna relapse, do it at home. You don't need to get behind the wheel of a car.
Yes. Now you're on a big going to counseling, going to church, I'm going to church now. And
I'm happy to hear that you're going to church. Church can't stop you from drinking.
stop drinking.
Yes, church is not gonna keep you from drinking. You have to keep you from drinking. Okay? That's a decision you have to decide that you're gonna make, even when times are difficult or challenging. Hard times aren't gonna stop just because you are attending church now. You definitely need a faith base. It needs to be more than just church. It needs to be a relationship that causes you to make better decisions. But that in and of itself, without you making a determination that I'm just gonna be smarter, not that it's absolutely unreasonable. There's no reason why anyone needs to drink and drive. There's no reason. I don't see any reason why I would deviate from the recommendation of probation. And so probation will be ordered. We're going to do 12 months probation. While on probation, you have the following conditions. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or a controlled substance unless you have a valid prescription. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You will be required to submit to random preliminary breath testing and your analysis testing. You have to pay the cost associated with that, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're not to be at any bars or any nightclubs. Mr. Green's gonna get me some evidence and get that over to the probation department to verify if you've completed that. Oh, it looks like you already did. It says he completed victim impact panel through MAD. Is there another?
Highway safety and that free counseling.
Okay. The highway safety certificate is the one we don't have, I believe. Okay, you'll provide that to your probation officer, okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to order that you undergo some intensive outpatient treatment and participate in a 12-step meeting program. And you can discuss with your probation officer how often it's appropriate for you to do that. Are you employed, sir?
No, I'm disabled.
While on probation, there's a $30 per month oversight fee that you must pay. The $75 crime victim rights fee. It's a $50 state minimum cost that will be assessed. The Lansing Police Department, OWI cost recovery for responding to this incident in the amount of $283.51. So you have a total of fines and costs, $768.51. I'm gonna waive discretionary fines and costs because you already have a pretty hefty bill there. And you'll make monthly payments on that, which is about $76 a month, okay? You have any questions for the court?
Yes, the Secretary of State has sent me a paper for a restricted license. I went down to try to get it, but they told me I had to pay $45. So they sent me to the probation department. They told me I had to pay $125 for a reinstatement fee. They said it's up to the judge to get to us a restricted license. I had to wait till I see the
I
It
don't
was
know.
they said it's a new process. I don't know what it
I
was.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Sanctions from Secretary of State, all cases that are driven by statute, you can't give restricted licenses.
I don't know who told him it was up to the judge.
Yeah, probation part. That was last
You know-
week.
You know which probation officer you spoke to?
It was the lady at the front because she came upstairs and talked to the judge. She said,
Well, wherever she was, she didn't talk to me because I don't have any control over you getting a restricted license. I didn't suspend your license. Okay, so you talk to Secretary of State and see what you need to do to get your license reinstated if eligible or to get a restricted license. Lastly, there's an advice of rights, and also you can have Mr. Green, your attorney, assist you with that. Lastly, I have an advice of rights as to probation. It states you've been sentenced to a term of probation in 54A District Court. The probation conditions are individually tailored and specific to address your assessed risks and needs, except for domestic violence, criminal sex crimes, stalking offenses, or offenses where the defense of guilty but mentally ill was asserted. You may be eligible for early discharge from probation. So you have the following rights. You have the right to request early discharge from probation once you've completed half the original term ordered by the judge. So that's 6 months. In order to make that request, you must not have violated probation 3 months prior to that, okay?
yes, sir.
You would make that request after you've completed all of the required programming, which I'm ordering you again to intensive outpatient into 12-step programming. So if you've been consistent and you've completed the sufficient programming, you can make your request. You would get the MC 512 form. That's the notice regarding eligibility for early discharge. You can ask for that from probation, or you can get it directly off the court website. You can make the request for early discharge, or your probation officer, when they believe it's appropriate, can make that request on your behalf, okay? If I schedule it for a hearing, and so far I've never scheduled a hearing to review one of these, but it could happen. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you for that hearing. You do not have the right to court-appointed counsel for any hearing for early discharge, okay?
Okay,
You have any questions about those rights?
no, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll get you down to see or meet with probation, and then you'll be all set for today. And I wish you good luck to you, okay, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good.
Thank you. Have a good one. Do we have Samuel Bondi here? Oh, okay. Did I pronounce the last name correctly? Mpondi? Okay, on the record, in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Samuel Mpondi, file number 24-0063, I'm sorry, 463, council appearance.
Your Honor, Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Mr. Bonde.
Okay, Mr. Mpondi, today's the day set for a pretrial operating with a blood alcohol content 17.17 or higher. Do we need to adjourn this for an assessment, or has there been an offer extended?
There has been no offer extended at this time, Your Honor. We have scheduled an assessment. He has an assessment scheduled for April 30th at 1 p.m.
We'll reset this matter so that the assessment can be completed and give time to have a report provided to council. I'm sorry, 30 or 45. What is today's date? I think 30 is good. We do Monday, May 20th at 8:30. May 20th at 8:30. Have any questions today? Any additional matters for the record, council?
For the city, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense. Thank you.
Get you a copy of your notice to appear. You're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On the record, in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Amber Valencia, file number 24-01003, council appearance.
Your Honor, Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Amber Valencia.
Okay, Ms. Valencia, today's the date set for pretrial, one count of trespass. How are we proceeding on this? I'm sorry.
So yeah, this is Amber Valencia, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Valencia. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the city attorney has made an offer of in regard to a course forward for Ms. Valencia. The offer was that if Ms. Valencia would agree to inpatient or began inpatient treatment, that they would dismiss the case. I have not yet had an opportunity to discuss the particulars of that with Ms. Valencia, although I do know that she does want to get into treatment. So that may be something she is interested in, and we would ask a short adjournment to allow time for that. And she also has another matter pending. Next hearing date on that too. I'm sure as well.
What's the other matter?
May 7th, she will be in court in regard to charges of B&E, illegal entry without owner's permission. We were conflicted out of the case. So I'm not sure who was representing her on that matter.
The judge. You said it's May 6th?
On May 7th.
Mr. Carter is on that matter. Okay, we'll reset it. We can reset it until after May 7th. May 13th at 8:30. You have any questions for the court today, ma'am?
No, I don't.
Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing for the city or.
Nothing for the defense.
You're all set, Ms. Valencia.
These are the only two matters I have though, right?
I don't know if that's the only two matters you have, but you only have one case set for me today, and it sounds like you have one on the 7th.
And it's my lawyer or no?
Is this your lawyer? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Mr. Lee.
Did you know if those are the only two matters? These are old and I've been working and stuff, so I don't know. I guess. All right, thank you.
No, what is your question? You want to know if you have other matters pending?
I shouldn't have no other matters, but I was just making sure that these are the only two that I'm taking care of.
I'm not sure, and this is not old, ma'am. This is from this month. It's from April 8th, 2024.
Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't have no other charges though.
You have it looks like a breaking and entering pending, which is a felony.
Yeah. A felony? I thought that was a misdemeanor because that's old.
What you have? Oh, you have a misdemeanor B&E pending.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I have no felonies. All right, thank you.
Okay, you have any, if you have questions for your attorney, he'll either be in person to meet with you at the jail, or he'll contact to make a appointment via Polycom to meet with you, okay?
Okay.
You're all set.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. This is Miss Alexia Alanis.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Cynthia Green, file number 21-03394, council appearance.
Morning, Your Honor. Leah Hading.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Cynthia Green.
Okay, Mr. Green is present via Zoom. We reset this matter because she was in the process of paying a reinstatement fee so that she can make arrangements for a road test. Do we have an update on that?
Your Honor, Ms. Green left me a voicemail that indicated that she had to bump the road test till next month. I believe it was finance related, but I don't have further explanation at this time.
Ms. Green, can you unmute?
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, John Lee. Well, what happened was the vehicle that I was going to road test in was totaled in an accident, so I had to reschedule the road test to May. So that should be taking place right May 10th.
Okay, we'll reset this till after that.
Thank you so much. I am on the right track, though.
May 20th. May 20th at 8:30.
Thanks so very much for your time.
No problem. Do you have any questions for the court?
No, I'm doing a whole lot better now. Thank you so much for your patience.
Very good. We'll see you on May 20th. Good luck to you on your road test.
Thank you so much. God bless.
You're welcome. On the record, in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Alexia Alanis, file number 24-01079, appearance please.
Morning, Your Honor. Amanda Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Alexia Alanis.
Okay, Ms. Alanis, today's the date set for pretrial. You have one charge of furnishing false information to a police officer, no vehicle involved. Is there an offer on this? How do you want to proceed?
Your Honor, at this time, we would like to go ahead and set the matter for trial. I don't know. Well, yes, we just like to set the matter.
She's being held on something else, obviously. Does she have a felony or a misdemeanor pending connected to this?
I don't mean to interrupt, but am I allowed to
Yes.
say?
Yeah, you have something to say, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just not sure how it's false information if I said my middle name. I'm usually called by my middle name first, so and I never gave a birthday, so that wouldn't make sense to me.
Okay. Well, I'm sure your attorney is aware of that. That may be why he's advising you to proceed to trial. May 20th at 8:15 for trial date.
Okay, at what time?
Sorry, ma'am?
At what time?
It's gonna be at 8:15. Looks like you're gonna see me again on April 30th, though. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions for the court?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
None for the city, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense, thank you.
Okay, you're all set.
And thank you.
You're welcome. I don't see anybody else in the report. We have nobody's outside. Good morning, Mr. Staples.
Morning, Your Honor.
It's 9:35. No one has appeared yet for Jamie Scruggs. I don't know if your office has had any contact though.
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I know she failed to appear last time. I don't know if you want to go on the record with the default or give her another couple minutes, but I'll leave that at the discretion of the court.
Yeah, I'll give her another 5 minutes to appear. Thank you. Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Jamie Ruth Scruggs, file number 2400136001. Council appear to the record.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Okay, today was the date and the time that was scheduled for a hearing for code compliance. This was this third time rescheduling this, I believe, and the defendant failed to appear back on March 18th. There was a default for a first violation of $150. How do you want to proceed at this time?
Your Honor, the people would request a default fine enter for a first repeat offense in the number of $250 this time on defendant's failure to appear.
Your motion for default and fine is granted, and you'll present an order under the 7-day rule.
Correct, Your Honor.
Note that here. Do you want another hearing set?
Yes, please, 30 days, Your Honor.
May 20th at 11.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Any additional matters for the record on this file?
No, none for the city.
You're all set on that. We don't see Martez Simmons, no relation. Let's see. So set for an explanation hearing. You heard from Martez Simmons?
I do not see.
Default, the speeding and bench warrant, the other matter.
Don't know exactly when it's your court schedule controls that, so. Okay. Spoon, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mrs. O'Boyle, are you there? Mrs. O'Boyle? She's not muted. Right?
I literally just walked out of the room.
Okay.
Okay, Mrs. O'Boyle, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we have Jamal Mitchell Witherspoon here. On the record in the matter, the people of the city of Lansing versus Jamal Witherspoon, file number 24L 2838391, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Jamal Devontae Mitchell Witherspoon.
Okay, today's the date set for the matter involving a disobeyed traffic sign. Ran amber light. I don't even know what an amber light is.
Thought we were here for no ops.
There's a failure to display and a traffic signal. There's two. Looks like he was supposed to go to the Secretary of State to get a permit. Get that.
He did, Your Honor. He obtained his permit on April 16th. He is scheduled for a road test this coming Thursday, April 25th.
His road test April 25th.
Yes.
Okay, so he needs a new date.
Do May 6th at 9:30.
May 6th at 9:30. Have any questions today, sir? No. Okay, we'll get you a copy of your notice to appear. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nothing to the defense.
Okay, you're all set, sir. Ms. Hading is on Have you seen Jessica Lowe?
I have not.
I'm gonna benchmark Lowe. On the record, in the matters of the people of the city of Lansing versus Leah Hading, file numbers 24L28352323 and 24L28355501 and 24L28352231. Council Pierce.
Morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Leah Hading.
Okay, Ms. Hading, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Today was the matter, reset date for a driving unregistered vehicle, failure to display license, a speeding 1 to 5 and a no insurance. It looks like there were still proofs being procured for the city. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, when I spoke with Ms. Hading last week, she was in contact with the Secretary of State that had directed her to some self-help options in terms of getting proof of license transfer, title transfer. I have not yet received any proofs from Ms. Hading. We might, if the court would be willing, need 1 more week to see if we can figure this out.
April 29th at 10. You have any questions today, Ms. Hading?
No, thank you.
You're all set for today.
Have a great day.
You too. Someone just joined the Zoom room. Please start your video. What's your name?
Jessica Lowe?
Okay, Ms. Lowe, you were supposed to be here at 10 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am. I'm struggling with my internet.
On the record of the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Jessica Lowe and file number 20L25544751. Council appearance.
Morning, Your Honor. Amanda O'Boyle on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Jessica Lowe.
Okay, today was the date and the time scheduled for a pre-trial on an expired license. And we reset this because she had procured a state ID, was applying for a birth certificate. How are we proceeding at this time?
Your Honor, I have not been able to confirm with Ms. Lowe her status. If the court would permit, perhaps I could confer with her for a few minutes and find out where she's at in this process. I know she was supposed to be working on getting a permit, and that's why she needed the state ID in the first.
Does Ms. Lowe not have a phone number?
She does have a phone number, however, as of late, when I've been calling, it says that the number is not in service.
Ms. Lowe, is your phone not working? She's frozen.
Oh, ma'am.
You appear to be frozen. Are you there?
I am.
Okay. Off the record, you All right, Ms. Lowe, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I stopped her video because I think it was slows down her internet, so we'll proceed without that for this purpose. On the record, in the matter of the city of Lansing versus Jessica Lowe, Mr. Lee, how are we proceeding on this?
But Your Honor, Ms. Lowe reports that she has ran into some complications in that she has lost her job and has been living on $40 a week. She does report that she's scheduled to start a new job on May 2nd and believes that she will be able to proceed with the process after that point. She's asking the court to consider an adjournment for that.
Okay, we'll reset it. She's gonna start her new job May 2nd. We'll, let's go 30 days.
Do May 20th at 8:30.
May 20th at 8:30 is your new court date, Ms. Lowe, and I recognize your phone is not in service at this time, but you need to make efforts to be in communication with your attorney, even if that's via email, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any questions for the court?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for the record today?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
That's right.
Thank you, you're all set.
Thank you.
I think I just have one code compliance matter, but that's all the city stuff I have this morning.
That does appear correct, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Here we are. On the record in the matter, the people of the city of Lansing versus Alexia Thomas, file number 2400135991. Appearance for the record.
Matt Staples for the city of Lansing.
Mr. Driver is fine where he is, just the defendant's there. Okay, and state your name.
Thomas.
So your name?
Kenneth Thomas.
Okay, today was the day that we reassessed this matter for a continuation of our hearing on code compliance. I think there was some additional information that the defendants or pictures I think they wanted to bring. I think I gave you the exhibits back.
Yep.
And then I had posed a question for the city to bring a response to.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, thank you.
These are the prior exhibits.
Thank you. Okay, and I think my question, I think the pictures that the defendants were going to bring were photos that essentially would demonstrate that these are not the same vehicles that were there the first time. Is that accurate?
Yes, okay.
I'm sorry?
That's what the attorney supposedly did.
They had additional photos. The city had additional photos.
I do have prior photos from October here, Your Honor, that I've had labeled.
Okay.
Show them to defendants as well. Here are the two photographs that we have from October. The address is wrong on here because of how Mr. Driver had to move around to get those photos, but those are of the property. Do you want me to put Mr. Driver on to foundation so that I can get these to you, Your Honor?
For the photos, yes.
Yes, Mr. Driver.
And you all can have a seat. You can come up, Mr. Driver. I swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can have a seat.
Mr. Driver, I'm going to show you a photograph labeled as plaintiff's potential exhibit number 7. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And can you describe what this is a photograph of?
Yes, this is a photograph of the rear yard at 1223 Cesar Chavez, displaying a number of vehicles that are believed to have been an extended period of time.
Okay, and how do you know that?
We've received numerous complaints on the property, and I also went out and witnessed these vehicles in October and confirmed that they're still there today.
I guess a more specific question, Mr. Driver. Did you take this photograph?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And the date and time is correct?
That's correct.
But there was some issue with the labeling of that address. That's not correct?
Correct.
But this is 1223?
This is 1223 East Cesar Chavez.
Okay. And was this a photograph taken in the ordinary course of business?
Yes, it was.
And are these the type of records and photographs that code ordinary or zoning would normally take while doing one of these investigations?
Yes, they are.
Your Honor, the people would move to enter Exhibit 7 at this time.
Okay, is there an objection to their Exhibit 7?
Yeah.
What's the objection?
The photos are accurate.
You're saying that's not an accurate depiction?
Yeah, it seemed like they.
I can't hear you.
It seemed like this was made up.
What is this that you're talking
The
about?
whole picture, I mean, the date,
The date
the
stamp?
date and all that stuff, yeah, and the address and all that stuff, just basically made.
Are you saying that's not the location of your establishment?
1217, no.
No, the picture. You're
The
looking at the
picture,
picture.
yes. The
Is that
picture,
your
yes.
location?
Yes, no.
Okay. And you're saying that you believe that the date on there is what's inaccurate?
Yeah, I think, yes, it looked like it was doctored up. Don't look like it was, like, because if I mean, I'm just saying, you know, if you took a picture with his camera, it should have, you know what I'm saying?
It should have what?
I guess I feel like it should have, it would have had the right address and everything.
Well, I doubt that. I don't see how the picture with a camera's gonna put the address on there.
Right, I know,
How
I'm
does
just
the
saying,
camera
it just
put an
doesn't
address?
look. Okay.
Yeah, and as you
I'll
see it in
just
their
say-
previous exhibits, there's white writing and
Yeah,
and maybe you can question about how that gets there, because I don't know, but I know a
That's what I'm
camera
saying.
can't do that.
Mr. Driver, how does that, I'll show you this again, I'm sorry. We'll reference this text at the top right of the photograph. Where does that come from?
Yeah, the text is automatically generated on the camera app that is used to capture these photos. So we do not have any way to alter that.
Okay, but to capture these photos, you had to move around the property, correct?
Correct,
You couldn't
yeah.
just stand right at the very front.
Correct, yep. Some photos may have been captured from an adjacent property. Some may have been captured from the street. So the geolocation is going to automatically place a stamp on the photo as to where that was captured.
So as you move around, that location
It can vary.
may change.
So why does the address depict something different than his address?
Because I believe I was standing on the adjacent lot, right at the property line. So the application may not always be 100% accurate down to the exact degree, if you will. But it's the only application that I have available at my disposal.
And so does this camera allow you to zoom in and out?
Yes, it does.
Okay, because this appears like a zoomed in picture. Is that accurate?
I don't believe this was, no, I think I may have tapped the focus to refocus it in that direction.
What's the wood panel thingy on the side?
That's part of the fence post.
Oh, okay, so you were likely near the fence when you took the photo?
Correct.
Got it, okay. Any other objections?
I'm just saying, if you
You have
was
a
right
question?
at, yes, ma'am. If you was right at my fence, why would it pick up another address?
Because it may pick up an adjacent address. I was standing on the property next door is according to.
Not if you was up at this, not if you was up at my fence with this post. It had to be
Are you
one.
disputing that that's your fence?
That's my fence, but what I'm
Well, then
saying
it's- then
is,
it's-
if you was inside, like going through my fence, it should have picked up my address.
It's pretty flush with the fence. If the fence is on your property line, that may happen. It may reflect the adjacent property over yours.
Oh.
I can't dictate which one.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna overrule the objection because I don't think there is a dispute that that is your property. I don't think you are even disputed that that's an accurate depiction of what your property looked like at the date and time in question, which is what the appropriate objection would be. You're just disputing that the address that's listed on there that was generated by the programming on that camera is inaccurate. I think he's accurately explained how or why that could have happened. So objection is overruled. People 7 is admitted.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Driver, I'm going to put in front of you now a photograph labeled Plaintiff's Exhibit 8. Are you familiar with this photograph?
Yes, I am.
How are you familiar with this photograph?
I captured this photo.
Okay. And what is this a photograph of?
This is a photo of the rear yard, and it's displaying a number of vehicles and some junk. The subject of this violation.
Just to be more specific, what is this? What property address is this a photograph?
Yes, this is a photograph of 1223 East Cesar, East Chavez Avenue.
And for the reasons previously discussed, do you have any reason to disagree with that timestamp, but not the address in the top right corner?
Yes, or no, not the timestamp, just the address as you had stated.
So that timestamp is an accurate representation of when this photograph was taken.
Correct.
And was this photograph taken in the ordinary course of business?
Yes, it was.
And is this the type of photograph that would be taken by code as a record keeping procedure when doing these investigations?
Yes, it is.
People move to publish People's 8.
Any objection to People's 8?
No.
Okay.
May I approach?
Yes.
Mr. Driver, I'm going to give you a copy here of what was just admitted as People's 7 and 8. and then I'm going to show you copies of what were previously admitted, I believe, as people's 4 and 5. This is 4, and this is 5. Do you recognize any of the vehicles in common between these two photographs?
Yes, I do.
Can you explain to the court which vehicles may be illustrated in both?
Yeah, it looks like the flatbed tow truck appears in both of these photos, as well as the smaller tow truck behind it. Along with, there is the target vehicle that we can see from the south here in this photo. It can also be seen from the north, October 13th photo. You can also see the van, the utility van in both photos.
Oh, I'm sorry, where is the utility van?
In the October 13th photo, just behind the Ford pickup truck.
Okay, I see it, thank you.
That is the extent of what I can clearly see.
Having established that these are several of the same vehicles in both of these photos, what conclusions does that lead you to?
That these vehicles are being stored on the lot or are to be repaired. It's been extremely long duration of time that's passed for those to be repaired. It looks like the vehicles at this point are being stored on the lot. And
Thank you, Mr. Driver. I'm going to take these from you now, unless the court would like to ask any questions regarding 4, 5, and 7, 8.
I have 4, 5, and 7, 8. I'm just trying to compare. Because obviously it's different vantage points. So. And I see the 2 flatbeds. There's another vehicle in 8 that I don't necessarily see in 4, 5, and 6. I think I see the whatever this blue vehicle is on 4 and 6. Actually, 4, 5, and 6. I think I see it in the back next to the red truck. Is that accurate?
I believe so. Yes. We also see
the red truck,
the red sedan, just behind the target vehicle.
And then what about the wrecker, Mr. Driver?
Yes, the wrecker is also visible.
I don't see the red sedan though. I see the red sedan in 8.
That's just a pickup truck.
Yeah, I think that's a red pickup truck. Okay. And then looks like there was a Saturn in people's 8, but that's if that's Saturn, but it's a tan color. I don't see that though, and the other one I see a different Saturn. There was a red. It's like 2 red vehicles behind the tarped vehicle in 7. I don't see either of those. 4, 5, and 6. There were some, and he previously testified that the pickup trucks were his for the business, correct?
He did testify that the flatbed and the towing trucks were for his business, I believe.
So you're concerned about the same vehicles would be the utility van, and then I obviously see the blue vehicle is still there in the back, the tarp vehicle as well.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, any other questions for you, witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe last time there was some questions about clarification of the zoning of this business and of the zoning ordinance itself. So I would proceed to ask those questions.
Yes.
Mr. Driver, what is the permitted use for this property?
The permitted use for this property, it is permitted to be used as a motor vehicle service station.
Okay, and I know that is that what it would be if we were talking about today?
It's grandfathered in as a motor vehicle service station.
Okay, what is its current?
Its current zoning designation is MX1.
Okay. Your Honor, I do for the court's use, and I provided the same to defendants, have printed out some of the specific code sections you would like.
Correct, and that it was grandfathered in as a motor vehicle service station, so that is no longer something that's part of the code. Is that why it was grandfathered in?
That's a definition. The specific, I'm sorry, do you want Mr. Driver to answer?
Yeah, so if you can have them explain what you mean by it was grandfathered in as a motor vehicle service station.
With the adoption of the form-based code in 2021, zoning designations were changed for all the properties in the city for the most part. With that comes with a new list of permitted uses for those properties. And the permitted uses for the property, when it was under the previous zoning designation as F commercial, it was permitted to be used as a motor vehicle service station.
Okay. Thank you. You have any questions for this witness?
I have.
You have further questions?
Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes. And what is the definition of a motor vehicle service station?
Yeah, motor vehicle service station is a facility where minor repairs can be conducted. Minor repairs are such as brake work, brake replacement or repair, maybe oil change, maybe a windshield repair, minor tune-ups, alternator replacement, and repairs that would be done in a short amount of time.
Okay, and is that what type of facing business is a motor vehicle service station? Is that a customer facing business? Is that a manufacturing business?
It's more of a customer oriented business. Some of those repairs could even be completed while the customer is on site. Not the amount of time that some of those could take, such as a battery replacement.
And that is in juxtaposition to a separate type of classification in the code that is a motor vehicle repair station.
Correct. A motor vehicle repair station allows for major repairs to take place, those being more oriented towards damaged vehicles or collision work. That'd be body part replacement, engine replacements, body painting. Those are repairs that might take more time than a minor repair facility.
And both of those categories, a service station and a repair station, are distinct and separate from a place where someone would own multiple vehicles and have those vehicles exhibited for sale, correct?
That is correct.
So both service station and repair station are for customer vehicles, not necessarily for, are for customer vehicles.
Correct.
They wouldn't generally be for vehicles owned by the owner of that establishment.
That is correct.
I think that covers the questions the court had from the last time, Your Honor, if you have any questions of the witness.
I think the only other question I had was really, and I think he answered it before, and I don't know that this answer is gonna change, was does the ordinance provide for what they believe the reasonable time frame is for? And this was before you clarified that there's a difference between motor vehicle repair shop versus service station. I think this is the first the court's heard that.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I do have, if Your Honor would like, a copy of the definitions where both of those terms are denied in the ordinance, or defined, I should say. And they do seem to speak to minor and more major repairs.
Thank you.
They're at the bottom of the page there.
Okay. And so my only question would be whether or not can I have this copy?
Yes, I made copies for you and for the defendant.
Does the code provide for any timeframes that they believe is reasonable, or is that left up to interpretation?
I believe it's somewhat left up to interpretation, Your Honor, but I would say based on the items listed in the code, those are all fairly short-term oil change type stuff of the sort where you are either dropping off a vehicle for a very short period of time or, you know, staying with your vehicle while those things are happening at a service station as opposed to a repair station.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions for your witness?
None from the people, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, ma'am. So you say that if I'm grandfathered in as a repair facility, how can 21 change that ordinance for me? I'm already grandfathered in as a repair facility. And why would I was granted a facility license.
Okay, one question at a time first.
Okay, go ahead.
But I thought his testimony was that you were grandfathered in as a service station. Is that accurate?
No.
You're disputing that?
Yes.
Well, then you.
Okay.
That's different. That's different than your question for him.
Okay.
You have a question for him though.
Yeah. So I guess on the partial records, it says that that my facility is an F zone service fleet repair service. Why does it say that if it's something totally different in the city?
I'm not sure what you mean by repair, whether that's
So when you go down to the, well, when I went down to the city of Lansing, there was also a picture that you sent me as well. It stated that I was a F zone commercial service, commercial facility repair. What does that mean?
you'd have to show me what you're referring to.
Do you know what document you're talking about?
When I bought the property.
Well, look, I'm gonna wait to see if you can find the paperwork that you're talking about. I just have a quick question while they're looking for their document. This wasn't really discussed, but it's in my packet.
Sure.
I'm not sure what this is. What is, do you know what this form is?
That is the assessor's card. We
Okay.
just use that to clarify ownership for the most part.
Okay, so the question I have about this is it says, because it looks like it was previously owned by someone, Henry and Gail. And then it was sold to Lisha Thomas. It says here back on July 22nd, 2011, that Gail called to change mailing address. It says TB. And then it says it changed from GAR Service Repair Shed to GAR Service Repair. I don't know what that means. So is that like the name?
So so you're talking about how it's taxed and with the assessor's information?
Yes.
So
no, don't interrupt me.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So
Yeah.
the zoning designations and assessor's information, to my knowledge, they're not necessarily a one-for-one match. So
Okay.
what the city might recognize as two separate uses under zoning might just be taxed as one overall use as far as the assessor's office is concerned, but I don't work in that office.
Okay, sounds good. So this is not something, this card is not something that you produced.
No,
Okay.
I just submit it in case there's a question as far as ownership.
Sounds good. And then the other question I have is, because I don't know if that's what they're looking for, when someone has a business and they get their zoning designation, what is provided to them that tells them what their zoning designation is?
I mean, it depends on the real estate agent. Sometimes they'll reach out to us and ask for clarification or an email.
Okay.
Or we'll send them a list of the permitted uses. I mean, if they don't reach out to us and ask, we don't necessarily deliver something to every new business or for every new sale or sale of a property.
Okay, so what is it that your office has that shows that he was zoned as a motor vehicle service station?
So there is the conventional zoning map and zoning code.
Okay.
And that map shows the previous zoning designation.
Okay, and so the zoning designations for that particular business, that wouldn't ever change, though, like if someone else bought it after him and they wanted to make it a major vehicle repair shop, would they be able to do that in that location?
They would not.
Because of where it's zoned?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, if you'd like, I actually did print out copies for the defendant in the court. These are the commercial mixed use permitted, the MX1.
I think that's in here and it's colored, which might be. easier.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is that what this is?
Yep.
That's what
And it would be, I believe.
Well, I really asked that question more for his benefit because I think he believes that he was zoned for something that it would be impossible for him to be zoned for in that neighborhood. Or in that location.
A service station would
A
be.
repair shop.
Right, repair shop is not allowed in MX1, correct?
I have to double check that.
Maybe
Was,
we can get
or a repair facility is not allowed. A service station, I would have to. double
Is a conditional use.
Yeah, I believe so. Under the previous zoning ordinance, to my knowledge, major repairs or repair facility, repair service station was only permitted in an industrially zoned property.
Yeah, I see here motor vehicle repair station has to be, it says special land use, SC. And then whatever DT.
In DT2, it does require a special land use.
Yeah, this would be an MX1, Your Honor, is what it's currently zoned as.
Correct. I'm just saying he thinks that he's a repair station.
Mhm.
And that would, and that would be zoned differently according to this document.
Correct. And then there would be a different document for industrially zoned areas.
Okay.
Which are more permissive of those type of activities.
Okay, I'm just looking for service on this one. Vehicle sales leasing, okay, no. Right through accessories, where do I see vehicle service on?
It's on page 4 of the one I have, Your Honor, but I don't know.
Mine's just number 2. I just see vehicle motor repair station. Where exactly are you seeing it?
This is what it looks like on the one I have printed. And then MX1 would be the third
That's not what
column,
I have, yeah.
but it's a conditional use on all.
Oh, okay, for mine, it's on page 2. Okay. Motor vehicle service station. Okay, did you find the document you were looking for?
We have not, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, while she's looking for that, do you have any other questions for him?
Yeah. I'm just kind of. Okay, so you say that my place of business is not a repair facility. Is that what you said, correct?
The
It's a
property,
station.
it's permitted, the property is permitted to be used as a motor vehicle service station.
Okay, and I've been there 17 years and never, ever have I ever had anything submitted to me as such. Why is that?
It wasn't immediately apparent that it was being used as a repair facility until you had informed me when I was out there at your property that it was being used as a repair facility.
That's not correct.
What's not correct?
What you just stated.
Well, how do you know what was apparent to him?
You say that I stated to him, right? Is that what you said?
You or your employee, I believe it was you, while we were on the sidewalk.
Can I comment on that?
You can't comment on his
It-
testimony. You
it
can give your own
actually-
testimony to the contrary, and when I put you under oath, but this is his testimony.
Yeah.
It may have been your employee, actually, the older gentleman that works there. But one of you had stated that it was being used as a repair facility.
So-
I thought you had mentioned at one point too that you change engines there.
It's on the record now that you've mentioned this is a repair facility.
Right.
We're not gonna
It's
dispute
been
that.
on there.
Yeah, so that's not the question. Your question is why you didn't get anything prior to say that you couldn't perform at a repair facility in this location?
Right.
Who was
And
supposed to send you something like that?
basically, he just said if it was something as such, that something would have been, when I bought the property, something would have been sent out at that point in time.
I don't recall him saying that, but I'll ask him if, when he purchased this property, would something have been sent from your office, from code compliance, to tell him how this property was owned?
Not to my knowledge, some people do reach out, like I said, to get zoning designation confirmation letter or something to that effect, but I don't believe you would ask for that. And I wasn't there at the time either. I did not work in that office.
Did you have any other questions?
And yes, because at the time I was dealing with Susan statute, which is not here today. And that's the reason why I'm not understanding. the thing of me not being a repair facility.
Okay.
You didn't even drive up the street and see able and affordable auto service and repair and tow.
Well, they can't control that.
No, I'm
Your
just-
question is
well,
what though?
that's my question. My question is, even at that point, why didn't you like
Just
What-
because it,
mention
answer.
something?
I mean, minor repairs, you're permitted to make repairs, but it's limited to minor repairs. So whether or not, when your sign says repairs, I mean, how am I supposed to know whether that's major or minor repairs? We've never really discussed the specifics of what you do with that property until recently. That's when you made it aware to me that it was a major repair facility.
Do you have any other questions?
And one more question, with this, even though if the state give you paperwork as a facility, as a repair facility, as far as engine repair and facility, you know, and basically stating what the facility is, you know, used for. Is there any point in time where you guys get that information as well?
I don't process anything from the state in my position. I know that some uses do require zoning municipal approval or confirmation, if you will, before certain licenses can be issued. Whether or not that's done for a repair facility, I would have to double check. I do know that that is conducted for dealerships. As far as repairs, I would have to confirm that. I don't process those.
One more thing, Your Honor, can I go back to these photos or that's?
Well, you can
Okay,
give further testimony, but I'm just giving you time now to question him while he's on the road.
All right, and I want.
You have more questions for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, photos, yeah. So on this photo, you got my address and everything, correct?
It appears so, yes.
Right? And then when you say you went back after the judge asked you to get photos for October, come up with, I mean, you see, you came up with these pictures, right?
I didn't come up with them.
I mean, you took these pictures back in October, you said?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm just trying to understand here, even though you say this is back in October and this is in March.
I was on
How
your
did
property. Your fence.
He didn't ask the question yet.
Oh, sorry.
How did the address appear on this one correctly and not on this one?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
He's answered that. You provided an answer to that. Just because you don't like the answer doesn't mean that you get to keep asking him the same question. He's already explained that depending on where he's standing, it may not be accurate as to where the geocode or whatever language he uses, it picks up.
Okay.
So I don't know, is Vermont Street over in that area? Okay, so it's easy, that happens all the time.
Okay, all right. All right.
So do you have any other questions about those pictures?
No.
Now, if your position was that doesn't look like your property, then that's different, but the whole address being properly populated in there, that could have been a matter, even if it was something that they entered the address themselves, it could be a matter of human error, or obviously, when we use GPSs and we do pinpoints, it's not always accurate.
Right. I just feel like, even though I just feel like these pictures, you know, I just feel like it was kind of like propaganda, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what does that mean?
Put together, you know what I'm saying? Like,
just tell me what that means.
Like I'm just saying, I don't feel like.
You don't believe those pictures were taken in October?
Yeah, taken in October. That's
when do you believe they were taken?
Because I opened the yard for him to take pictures, and that's when I believe that these pictures were taken.
When was that?
I think it was like a week later from the citation.
What was the citation?
I think before we came, the citation was 12. of January. So I'm thinking it was like, just before we had to come to court.
Okay, so you think that these pictures are from January?
Yeah. I don't
Okay,
believe
even
that
if
they
that,
come out.
even if that was true,
I mean, they still the car. I mean, it's still
right,
my
this,
property.
it's still your property,
I
correct?
just know that when we was here the last time.
Right, so this,
stated
so
October.
your dispute is not that this is not your property, but that you don't think this was October, that you believe that this was
Yeah.
from January.
Yeah.
Even though in the picture, I'm gonna point this out to you, in 8, 7, and 8, there's green leaves on the tree. You think this was in January?
No,
We have,
February.
in Michigan, do we have green leaves on our tree in February? We don't have green leaves on our trees right now.
Right, you're correct. You're right.
Yeah, so this would probably be late summer, early fall, because I see some trees turning colors in the back on people's 8, no? I also see on one of your cars, it looks like some leaves had fallen and they were a little bit discolored.
Right.
Not likely, though, that this was a Michigan winter photo. What you're alleging.
Cause I was just stating that, just look for October, I'm looking at, the picture and it just don't match up there.
Maybe it's not October, maybe it's August or September. It's definitely not January or February of 2024, though,
Right.
because these are pretty full trees.
Right.
Or am I, okay, thank you. Any other questions about those pictures or any other?
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
I just want to point out that the pictures that were identified for 4, 5, and 6 with the month of March, trees are completely bare.
Yes.
We would not have leaves in February or January. Okay. Okay, so no other witnesses or questions for this witness?
None, Your Honor.
From you? Okay, you can be excused from the stand. And you wanted to give further testimony, and I think you wanted to clarify something. I'll let you go first. You can raise your right hand. Just, you can sit there. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? Okay, what is it that you wanted to share with the court?
So we were here, I would say maybe a year ago, almost the same matter where it was kind of the same thing where there was vehicles like the tow trucks and things like that, where they were like, had us clean up some of the vehicles in the back. So we did so. They knew, and during that time, it was discussed that this was an auto repair. And we talked about the different things that we were working on these vehicles with. So I believe that Mr. Driver was fully aware because he was there during that time where we discussed what we were doing at the facility and taking care of some of the vehicles that were there during that time.
Okay, so you don't dispute that you shared with Mr. Driver what you were doing back there?
Correct.
Okay.
He's claimed that he didn't know that it was an auto, we were doing kind of major auto repair versus just oil changes and things like that.
I don't think he's disputing that he didn't know that. I think he was answering the question as to why your husband didn't receive a citation. He's been in business 17 years, you said?
Yes.
Why he never received anything, and his response is because, first, he can't respond to what happened 17 years ago because he wasn't there. But from the time that he has been in this position, you wouldn't have been immediately cited because he stated originally he was not aware as to the extent of the repairs that were taking place there. Obviously, sometime within 2023, he's become aware of that, and now you have a citation. Did you have any more testimony? Okay. And you wanted to provide other testimony? Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay, you can proceed, sir.
Okay, so, his boss is Susan Statue.
We are aware.
Okay, and basically, like I stated, he works for her. So he understands everything that was going on at my place of business because she was aware of everything that was
That's,
going on.
well, I'm gonna, you don't have to object to
Sure.
that. I can't decide that he understood everything that his boss knows. For example, this attorney here, assistant city attorney, do I believe that he understands everything just because the city attorney understands it?
Right.
No, he has a different mind, a different set of understanding. I can't even say that your wife, who you're married to, understands everything that you understand. You know why? Did she know how to go and repair this car back here? Did she know how to go back there and work on cars and repair? She doesn't have the same understandings that you have. So we're not going to make an assumption that just because he works for someone that he has the same understanding. Outside of the fact that, do you know how many buildings are in the city of Valencia, how many businesses?
Yes.
There's no possible way he comes into a job and he gets an immediate understanding about what every business in his jurisdiction is doing and what they were doing prior to. There's no possible way he could do that. So I don't dispute that maybe Ms. Stashwick is aware because she has prior knowledge of what's going on there, but that doesn't have anything to do with this officer. And I told you before, you had every right to subpoena any witness here that you wanted to question, and you've not subpoenaed her.
Oh, I thought I must have misunderstood because I thought the last time we was here that you said you wanted her here and she was gonna end up. I didn't know that.
Well, you wanted to discuss the possibility of some retaliatory action.
Right.
Which, to be quite frank, and there's been a motion to eliminate, there was no objection. I'll address the motion to eliminate now. There was really no objection to his questions when he asked him about that originally. You asked Mr. Driver about, was he aware about some investigation and whether or not Ms. Stashwick directed him to do or to take this course of action against you in a way that's retaliatory. I have no reason to believe that Mr. Driver is acting in a way that is involved with malfeasance, meaning he's going to do something vicious or at the direction of somebody because of whatever may or may not have taken place between you and Ms. Stashwick. Do I think that you may have a valid concern about whether or not there is some bad blood between you and Ms. Stashwick? Is possible? I don't know. But that doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you're properly zoned. The zoning laws are the zoning laws.
Right, and I understand.
And they can't change the zoning laws to retaliate against you. They can't say, we're gonna go and change the zoning because we want to get back at him. And furthermore, and I'm almost getting to the portion that you all really should be arguing. Even if you were not properly zoned and you've been operating, doing major repairs in a place that you're not supposed to be, and they've been letting you slide for 17 years and decided now that they don't want to let you slide anymore, it's still a violation of the law. They don't have to let you slide because they let you slide before. The law is the law. And so if you've been violating the law because you're not properly zoned, whether you knew that in the beginning or not, it doesn't dispute the fact that they now need to bring it up to compliance. Do you know where our city would be if code compliance could bring everybody into compliance? There's a multitude of homes and businesses that are not properly zoned right now. And a lot of people have been operating their homes with blights and other things on their property and bringing down everybody's property values. And what if they all said, well, my house has been like this for 20 years. You didn't cite me before. Well, we'll never advance as a community if we can't allow the officials to do their jobs to bring us into compliance. And so for those reasons, unless you can show me where you are properly zoned to do the type of business that you've already told us on the record that you're doing, and I don't think you're disputing that you're doing some major repairs. The only information I have here is that you are zoned for mixed use, which according to the city documents for a zoning ordinance reference in the city code of ordinances. You're zoned for mixed use, grandfathered in for the use of motor vehicle service station. It even defines in the document provided for resource or reference what motor vehicle service station means. And it says it's for supplying gasoline, oil, and minor accessories at retail directly to the customer, and which performs minor repairs. Minor repairs means engine tune-up, alternator or generator replacement, battery replacement, fan belt replacement, radiator hose replacement, radiator repair or replacement, tire and strut repair or replacement, wheel balance, oil change, windshield repair or replacement, brake repair replacement, muffler and muffler exhaust system replacement, front end alignment, and automobile washing and detailing. And so the things that you've described to the court when you gave your testimony previously would be more serious repairs. You have some of these vehicles that are not operable. And I asked you about how you moved them around at one point, and you described to the court what you would do. I, at that time, was operating with the mindset or the understanding that you were properly zoned to make the repairs that you were making. But Mr. Staples has provided information to further clarify at this hearing that no, you're not zoned to do those types of repairs. You're zoned to do minor repairs versus major repairs. And the zoning ordinance and the definitions do describe what the major repairs are. And some of those things are the things that you're telling me that you're doing or that needs to be done to these vehicles. In addition to that, in some of these vehicles, I see scrap metals. I see things that appear to be rusted out. I see what appears to be cages with what weeds overgrowing them. And so there's things that are not really even connected to the work or repairs that you need to be doing, and they're still back there. Those are some of the things that I even see when I look at what was attached to the citation or the complaint. There was a concern about you doing repairs or doing work on the driveway or the entrance. And there's a picture from January 2024, which shows just that. The car is jacked up on the side of the road with a red little jack. And so some of these things do concern the court when it comes to blight, and it comes to whether or not you're keeping your repair service station in repair accordance to the ordinance. Even one of the pictures, it shows a vehicle that doesn't even have a hood on top of it. So some of these are major repairs that you're doing, and you're not properly zoned to do that. Yes, sir.
Pictures of all that.
This was included in the code enforcement ticket supplemental form. So you probably should have received this information initially.
But as I was saying, Your Honor, like if I could get the paperwork from the assessor's office, it would state exactly what my zoning is on there. That's what I was looking for at this time. I couldn't find it because my phone is outside, and my wife, I didn't send it to her phone, but
you have you believe you have paperwork from the city assessor's office?
Yes.
That says what?
And it states that I'm commercial zone service, fleet service repair. Commercial zone fleet service repair.
So you can go to your car and get that paperwork then.
I can go get it.
Yep. I'm sorry, off the record, I'll let you go get it. It's on the iPhone. I don't think we have any. Okay, and you were able to get what you needed from the assessor's office?
Yes, Your Honor, somewhat, got.
Let me show that to Mr. Staples, please.
Yeah, Your Honor, this is just the BSNA printout. I do actually have copies. If you don't have copies for the court before.
Just provide me a copy of your copies.
Sure, this is, I'm sure you're familiar, Your Honor, the BSNA like home screen page.
Okay, is that what you have there, sir?
Yes.
Okay, what is your concern about the zoning?
So basically, on there, it states F, commercial F. And if you see over to the other side, it says service fleet repair.
Where am I supposed to see that, sir? But you said it was service repair, though, correct?
Service fleet repair.
Correct, but still service repair, though, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How is that different from what he said with his motor vehicle service?
It's F-zone commercial service fleet repair. So if it's
I recognize
service,
that.
So if you're doing like repairs on like, if I can do a repair on a fleet service repair, then that's gonna give me even more things that I can basically do, even if it was like a fleet of U-Haul trucks and different things like that, I would be able to, service them.
What you're showing me is not on my document. Can you get that from me, please? Zoning F commercial.
In the building information section, Your Honor.
Okay, building information section. Oh, I do see that on here. F commercial at the bottom of the land information. Okay, and you believe that because it says F commercial, that means that you can do major repairs? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay, did you want to address that, Mr. Staples?
Briefly, Your Honor, I believe one in the section where he's referencing garages, service / fleet facilities repairs, that's under building information. I think that's really just a descriptor, Your Honor. I don't think that's not a zoning reference. That's not an F commercial or anything like that. I think that's just.
I see this under land information. No, that's not where you see it?
No, I see that statement under building information.
Yeah, I see it under land information on this. F commercial.
No, I see F commercial, but where he's referring to the garage services. Facility.
Occupancy.
Yeah, I think that's just describing vaguely.
Got it. Yeah, I see that.
Vaguely what the city thinks the business is. I don't think that carries any.
Do we know what F commercial means?
We do, Your Honor, and I was able to get the old F commercial section. I will say F and F1 commercial does not speak to a service repair station anywhere in it. It has a bunch of references to other sections of the old zoning code. This was tough enough to get in that quick break, but.
Oh, okay, so that's an old, F commercial is an old designation?
Correct, in the prior zoning regime, which was phased out in 2021, I believe.
Okay, so that's why he was grandfathered in, you said, as a
service station.
Service station. What is it that you got that says something about F commercial?
Sure, this is the F and F1 commercial district standard, chapter 1268 of the former zoning regime. It doesn't reference service stations anywhere in it. However, I will say one of the problems with this regime and one of the reasons it was phased out is because it's a nesting doll of references to other sections. And in the brief recess we have, I wasn't able to track down every single section. There's, to the point of speculation, the portal. I mean, who knows how long this business is around? It could have been grandfathered in when this was, depending on when the last time this changed hands. It could be a very old.
I don't see anything in F commercial that would cause me to believe that that allows you to be a service, major service repair. Have you reviewed the code ordinance where it talks about F commercial? Sir?
No, I didn't resume it, but at the same time, what I'm trying to state is, if I was there before I never was out of work. The only time I thought they said they can basically change a zoning if somebody was out of work at the time of the when we had the COVID thing going on, and I was never
Correct.
out
I
of
don't think
work
that they're
where-
saying that this was rezoned. That's not.
I thought that's what he said.
No, you were grandfathered into something, so it's the opposite of being rezoned. And you were the statement was that you were grandfathered in as a motor vehicle service station. So it sounds like if there was a rezoning, you likely would not even be able to do the services permitted as a motor vehicle service station there if they had a rezone. But they didn't rezone you, they grandfathered your facility in is what it sounds like. F commercial doesn't discuss, it's the type or summary of the type of building and when it was built. It doesn't tell you what the zoning purpose is.
And that's what my problem is. What is the zoning?
Okay, so I get, and I'm not disputing that you may have been misinformed or uninformed as to what it was, but that's your responsibility when you purchase property. And if I wanted to go out tomorrow and start a business, it's my responsibility to make sure I'm putting the type of business I want to put in the proper zoning area. And I have to do the research for that purpose. And if I don't know how to do it on my own, then I hire a real estate attorney to do it for me. It's not the city's responsibility to every time someone opens up a business, that they send Mr. Driver or someone situated like them out to that business to make sure that the business is gonna comport before they can even open it up. Then there's their job to go and make sure it's in compliance after it's up and running. Because sometimes you can open up a business and you might change the use, and that use change may not be consistent with what you're zoned for. And I understand you purchased this from another person, this property from another person who operated, it appears, a service repair shop, because that's what's on the property documents that was listed in the enforcement supplementary form. But that doesn't change the fact, and the document you provided me doesn't change the fact that this is not zoned for major repairs. And I don't see you providing me anything else that would tell me otherwise, that this is not zoned for major repairs. What I see here, again, even on the document I questioned Mr. Driver about that was attached, but I think you said you didn't have, it says there that this was zoning F commercial and that it's a commercial improved class. And those are classes, those are building zoning, that's building zoning language. It doesn't tell you the use or how it's supposed to be used. And so you, again, grandfathered in to do the type of work consistent with service and minor repair. You're doing major repair, which is also causing you to keep vehicles on your property for an extended period of time. Even if I believe that you were zoned to do major repairs, let's just hypothesize in that regard. I now have pictures that are from January 2024, which were attached to the commercial code supplementary form, which shows a number of vehicles and pickup, as flatbed tow trucks and another tow truck. I have pictures from March of 2024 that demonstrate many of the same exact vehicles. And then I have what's been proposed as or entered as exhibits from October of 2023, which I recognize dispute that these were likely taken in October. I think they were, if not, I have no reason to dispute that the date put on here was inaccurate. If I were going to dispute it, I would go probably September, because the amount of leaves on the tree and the color, but this definitely was when it was still warm. And we've been having unseasonably warm weather, so it's likely that it was October, early October, and we still had nice green lush trees. So those let me know that at least from October until March, you've had some of the same vehicles inoperable on your property. And so the court would have to determine whether or not it's reasonable for you to keep that amount or these cars there for this amount of time. Even the vehicle that you said was the one that's under the tarp that you said was a, like a classic vehicle that you've been working on. And you're allowed to obviously do those things. You're just not allowed to store all of these vehicles there while you're working on them under the service station zoning classification that you have, sir. You have your finger up, so it's something you want to say.
Yes, ma'am. Both the last time I was here, a lot of those vehicles can drive. You know what I'm saying? But also I had paperwork on some of them because I told them and customers didn't come back and get them.
I recognize that, and I recognize they can be moved, but you're only again zoned to do a certain type of business that you're not doing. You're doing more than what you're zoned to do at this time. You are doing major repairs, which is why you need some paperwork for some of the things, probably parts for some of the things. But the language in the ordinance is very specific as to what minor repairs include, and all of those things go above and beyond. All the things that you're doing go above and beyond the language in this ordinance. And so I am at this point going to require you to bring the property up to code, conditioned to how your property is zoned. I'm going to give you a date 30 days out so that you can do that. If you don't do that, I'm going to fine you. 30 days. This has been pending for quite some time. You've been on notice for quite some time too. So you're gonna have to figure something out. I don't know what that's gonna be. I don't know if you gotta find another place where you can store your vehicles until it's the appropriate time for them to have minor repairs. But you can't store the inoperable vehicles on this lot for major repairs for 6 months and be within the confines of the ordinance. It's violating the ordinance. I'm gonna give you 30 days to do that. If you come back and you've not completed it but you've made good faith, substantial effort, we'll talk about it. But at this point, you're gonna get 30 days to get started on that process. May 20th. May 20th at 11.
Your Honor, if I may, could we have as part of that order, the order to inspect prior to that date? To enter and inspect, since this is a fenced-in area?
The city has permission to inspect prior to that date. And provide some photos for the court. And then can your office get me a order under the 7-day rule for that purpose?
Yes, Your Honor, I will get you an order this afternoon.
Okay. Any additional matters for the record?
None for the city, Your Honor.
You're all set for today. Thank you.